Hi, I'm John. I'm here at the Schiffer Book Farm. Today I have an advanced copy. It is Spray and Pray Squadron. The subtitle specifies that this is a history of the 3rd Bomb Squadron, 1st Bomb Group, Chinese-American Composite Wing in World War II. And the Chinese-American Composite Wing is super interesting. They hyphenated it at the time, Chinese-American, which would lead you maybe to believe that this is a unit of American nationals of Chinese descent, but that's not the case. What it really was a integrated unit of both American nationals and Chinese nationals in the same flying wing, composite wing. And the unit was technically both part of the Chinese National Air Force and the U.S. Army Air Force. And the unit used insignia associated with both forces, along with some of its own original insignia, which is pretty confusing, I think. But as I said, you had both Chinese nationals, American nationals, you had English speakers, Chinese speakers, and you had officers and enlisted men from both the U.S. and from China. You had Chinese pilots, etc. And there are some rare cases where you'd have an integrated crew, so with Chinese and American crew flying on the same plane on the same mission. That was rare. More often, though, you would see American crews and Chinese crews flying on missions together. And so this book is a super detailed look at one particular squadron within the Chinese-American Composite Wing. The author is Margaret Mills Kincannon, and she's a retired English teacher, which means the grammar's great, the book reads great. But she's also the historian for the Sino-American Aviation Heritage Foundation, which is the leading organization dedicated to preserving the history of the Chinese-American Composite Wing. And her father was in the 3rd Bomb Squadron, of the 1st Bomb Group of the wing. So that's why she's so interested in this particular unit. Let's turn around the camera and have a closer look at the book. So this is another large book. It is 511 pages long. This emblem here, the skunk, that is the emblem of the 3rd Bomb Squadron, of the 1st Bomb Group in the Chinese-American Composite Wing. The origin of the skunk is not real clear. It's not I believe that the American personnel in the unit came up with it, not the Chinese personnel. But there's more detail about that in the book. As I said, 511 pages. There's an extensive index, bibliography, and a lot of endnotes in the back, as you would expect with a large book such as this. The paper is quite nice in this book. It is it's a matte coated stock, and that's really because there are a lot of photos and a lot of text in this book, and the coated matte is a good compromise between like a glossy coated, which is kind of a shiny paper. It's really good for photo reproduction, but can cause a bit of eye fatigue for long reading sessions. And then the alternative would be an uncoated stock, more like a traditional rough paper feeling paper, and that's going to be the easiest on the eyes for a long reading session with a lot of text on the page, but it can be a little trickier with the photo reproduction. So like I said, the matte coated is the compromise we took here. I think it works well. It does make the book really heavy. It's a pretty heavy paper, so we've done a binding reinforcement here, like we did on South Pacific Air War, like I talked about in that video. So the book block is secured to the case at the end sheets, but then it's also glued all along the length of the spine there. The book has a jacket and a textured case wrap underneath. I think the book looks pretty cool with or without the jacket. Also quite cool for me is the marbled end sheets. This is a throwback to the Schiffer military books of the old. There was a period where nearly every book had the marbling on the end sheets. And this is something we're looking to bring back really for most books, unless we have a specific used for the end sheets, like maps or something like that in some books. This is something we're excited about. And bringing back the old logos, the old end sheets, it's a cool nod to the past. When I flip through here, you can kind of get an idea for the cadence of the photos. They're throughout, but it is primarily text. We have the author, Margaret Mills Kincannon, here. As I mentioned earlier, she is the historian for the Sino-American Aviation Heritage Foundation, and since the manuscript has been completed, that organization has been hosted by the Chinese government at the Chinese consulate in Los Angeles, at the Chinese embassy in DC, and in China for an official visit. I think historically the story of the Chinese-American composite wing has maybe been swept under the rug a bit due to the political tension between China and the U.S. Now it seems to be celebrated, and it's kind of interesting because I think that the nationalist Chinese military plays a central role to the story, and that's nationalist China is a touchy subject in China. I'm not an expert on Chinese history or politics, so I should probably just stop myself there. But I'm glad that history is being told. And the price of the book is $45 in the US. So as I stated at the start of the video, this is just an advanced copy. This book isn't in stock yet. It is available for pre-order on schifferbooks.com and schiffermilitary.com. I will put links to schiffermilitary.com in the description. The pub date for this book is April 28th of 2024. I think realistically, I'm pretty hopeful that back orders will be shipping significantly before then, probably sometime in March. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.